Listening to Inspiration with Keith right here on Island FM 102.9. Everyone listening online at islandfmonline.com. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. No matter where in the world you are, that's how we do it here. We give you a slice of the Bahamas live. Downtown, Dowsville Street, boom. In studio with me right now is a brand new artist, somebody who just released a brand new single, his debut single, called Believe, a little while ago, and it's making some waves, man. People are really responding really well, really positively to it. So we had an opportunity, and we're happy to invite the one and only, I'm saying it already, I'm speaking with the prophetic, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it like that. Denero Williams. Welcome, bro.
It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you. So what's going on?
Well, it's a beautiful day here in the sunny islands of the Bahamas.
That's right.
And I'm alive and well, so I'm looking forward to a great day.
Yeah, man, hey, that's what's going on. Now, Denero, I've known you for a number of years, man, but I didn't know you as the singer. You know what I'm saying? We kept bucking into each other. And you know how it is, man. The island is just 21 miles by 7
Very much.
miles, you know, and so many little roads here and so many little places and stuff. Everyone's your cousin, as they say. And here it is, you know, I just kept bucking into you, man. And then, you know, we started talking a bit, and you started telling me a little bit about, you know, you sing, and, you know, everybody in the Bahamas sings or writes or does something. We're just really gifted, really talented people. So I was just like, okay, cool, yeah, no problem. But then I got this, and I was like, whoa, this dude is serious. Man, so you wrote this? Who wrote this song, man? This is such a crazy song. Where'd this come from, man?
The inspiration of Believe, it came basically through spiritual inspiration. It was during a time of consecration, corporate consecration at church.
Yeah, what church is that?
That would be Bahamas Faith Ministries International.
That's what's up.
And during the time of consecration, the Lord just placed this Believe in my spirit.
Yeah.
Now understand, prior to writing Believe,
Yeah.
I went through a lot of difficult, discouraging times in my life.
Oh, wow.
Where I was very, I guess, I felt unvalued.
Oh,
I felt
man.
like, you know, life had nothing to offer me. I felt like I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah.
And God just gave me this song, Believe, which was basically a motivating inspiration to enlighten me to writing it.
Yeah. Man, that's actually pretty cool, because a lot of people feel that way. You know, a lot of people feel discouraged, you know what I mean? And for you to face that head on, look it right in the eye and say, you know what, the devil is a liar. I'm going to do this. This is really phenomenal, man. So what was the next step with this, man? Because, I mean, you have everything together. You don't just have a great song, but, you know, you got your packaging together. I mean, look at this, man. So how did you get from having a song in your heart to delivering this CD to me? What was the next step for you?
Well, my thing is, with the song, with me being inspired by the song,
Yeah.
I didn't feel that it was something that God wanted me to keep to myself, but He wanted me to share it with the world, as well as to be an encouragement to other young people.
Yeah.
And I believe that my life has some purpose. And you know, during a stage back then, before writing the song, I went through a very drastic stage of depression, to which it really took away a lot of the self-esteem and the value to which one's character can bring forth.
Right.
And so when Believe came forth, Believe basically inspired me so much.
Yeah.
I mean, in one night, I wrote it in practically an hour and a half.
Wow. Yeah.
And normally, I normally would tell people that I'm not really a writer.
Yeah.
But when the Spirit enables me or inspires me to do it, it seems to come very easy. And so I know that this was basically the starting measure for me to push out into the, I guess, the music world.
Very good. So in terms of production, who did the music for you? Like, how'd you guys hook up?
Okay, I was actually recommended to through a friend to a Kristen Taylor, who is presently associated with Farm Records.
Solid. How has that affected you? How has that affected your life?
Tremendously, I think the teachings of Bahamas Faith Ministries, Dr. Miles Monroe, Richa, and all of our leaders.
Yes.
It has affected me tremendously.
Yeah.
I find that the word is on time. It's able to reach you in whatever area in life you need it to reach you.
Yeah.
It's a whole word that allows you to really get to coming to the fullness and the maturity of who you are. And so, with that being said, I'm grateful just to be a part of such a great ministry that I know God is taking me to further places.
Yes, and speaking of ministry, I mean, it looks as if the Lord has opened up a door for you to minister yourself, and that's the true the truly astonishing and amazing thing about this, because you took a circumstance that really could have defeated you and you turned it into something where you in turn can uplift and inspire others. So where do you see you going with this ministry? Where do you envision it heading?
Well, to the fact that I believe that based on the book of Joshua chapter 1,
yes,
the word of God says that whatever I put my hand to, it's going to be blessed.
Yes.
Wherever my feet trod, it's going to be blessed. And I believe that it's going to take me to the world, and I can simply go back to an experience that I would have had on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Something as simple as being a part of a karaoke show.
Okay.
After the karaoke show, it was basically a karaoke show that led me to having to audition for a main show. Okay. In that main show, I actually won the Victory Idol competition, which was on a Carnival cruise line.
So you were part of the dance ministry?
I was actually the leader of the dance
ministry. Man, check you out, man. and you say their church, so your parents had their own church?
They do have their own ministry.
What's the name of it? It
would be Whole Armor Ministry. They just basically converted into New Harvest World Outreach Ministries. Definitely, I'm open to wherever God decides or wherever God enables me to go. I find that certain cultures seem to really embrace one who is from the Caribbean. So definitely cultures such as the United States and the Barbados and the Caribbean, all of them at large, the European countries, definitely they would be places that I know God will allow me to touch in his time and season.
There you go, man. That's beautiful, man. So look, man, I want to thank you for coming in, man. Any closing words, man? Any words of encouragement to anyone out there?
Very much so. I want to encourage young men and women not to give up on their dreams.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very difficult, even seeing what you desire to accomplish in your life. But I find that for me, my really strongest point has been trusting in God.
Yeah.
In the process of trusting in God, I find that my confidence, my faith level is built up to a point whereas I'm able to just push in and know that with Him, all things are possible. And so therefore, there's not normally no need to doubt.
Right.
Because I know the end result is always going to be that of a good result. And whatever God created was good.
Yes.
So therefore, my encouragement to the young men and young women is do not allow your situation to keep you down. Do not allow your situation to determine where you would go for the future. But be encouraged and know that God is with you in the midst of it all. Amen. Regardless of the experience, regardless of all that you may be faced with, He is with you.
Man, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Truly, it's a privilege.
Really appreciate it. So, folks, this is Believe right here on Inspiration with Keith. Keep it locked right where it's at. Man, that was great, bro. Man, how many interviews have you done so far?
I haven't done any. I haven't done any.
This is your first interview?
Yes.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Thank you, man. You know, this is the beginning of something really great, really important. And I'm honored, man. I'm honored to really be a part of this.
I'm honored to the fact that you called me.
Man, you know, man.
And it was difficult. It was difficult to let you. I am Denero Williams, hanging out with Keith Roll at 102.9. Stay tuned.
We have a very, very important interview with the one and only Kevin Harris and Richa Sands. Good morning. How y'all doing today?
Good, thank you, thank you.
Good morning, Keith, and good morning to your listeners. And we thank God for yet another Sunday.
Yes, and normally, when you guys come on, I mean, I'm just like doing cartwheels and backflips
Yeah.
and just like hoo-yah, But it's been a really rough week, not only for us here, but for many people throughout the Bahamas, due to the passing of Pastor Mark Bethel from Bahamas Faith Ministries, and I've always called him the Bahamian father of praise and worship, because I had never heard of praise and worship before I had opportunity to attend BFM myself, and understand that it was more than just singing, more than just music before the preaching, but that it had a purpose to usher in the presence of God and the Holy Spirit, to make room for the Holy Spirit to move. He just opened up an entire realm of spiritual warfare and in my life. You guys are here today to speak about him.
That's right.
And to let us know tell us about some amazing plans to honor him and his legacy.
Well, Keith, it is one of those occasions where, as people would sometimes say, you hate to sometimes connect or meet under these difficult circumstances. But, for those of us in God's kingdom and as saints, we know that no real important event in our life is ever accidental or ever truly a misstep. I believe God truly guides our step when we truly submit our lives to Him. And I believe in the life of Pastor Mark Bethel, the reason that persons like myself, Richa, and so many others in this country and around the world can feel a real sense of peace as well as a real sense of confidence to talk about his legacy and his work is because he truly lived what he sang and what he preached. And that was and is what is so paramount in my mind as we reflect on Pastor Mark and the contribution that he made to praise and worship, not just here in the Bahamas, but around the world. I had the pleasure of traveling with Pastor Mark on a few occasions. I remember one trip we went on to the Virgin Islands, and he was the guest speaker at a conference, and I was there to give some greetings and remarks at a banquet held at the end of that conference. And you would think when we arrived in the Virgin Islands that another major, international speaker was coming, because sometimes you don't really know the level of reception or the level of regard that you have for people that you know, because you see them you see them all the time. And let me tell you something. When we arrived down there, those folks were excited and ready to receive Pastor Mark, because like us in the Bahamas, they knew that he was really truly the person responsible to really introduce this new concept called praise and worship back in the early 80s through Bahamas Faith Ministries. And so you're so right. He is considered the person to be the father of praise and worship in the Bahamas and beyond. In Europe, he went and was a part of the opening of ASAP Paris. He also, of course, had ASAP in the Caribbean. There was, of course, ASAP in Grand Bahama. So it was really, and still is, a really sincere movement to express the glory of God in these conferences. But that started here in the heart, right here in the Bahamas, of Dr. Mark Bethel. And we are excited that this coming Thursday, Keith, at Bahamas Faith Ministries, many in the music, praise and worship, liturgical dance, pantomimes, all these various disciplines are coming together. Ministers of the gospel, friends, family, well-wishers, Bahamians. Thursday night will be a spectacular memorial in honor and in tribute of Dr. Mark Bethel. And it's going to be at 7:30 p.m. at the Diplomat Center. Mark's brother-in-law is Andy Gardner from Zamar, and his sister-in-law is Kay Gardner, and his wife. And so you can imagine what the Zamar element will bring in terms of production to the experience on Thursday night. And we're excited that Burton Wallace and Mo V will be with us on Thursday. And we're also going to share a little bit in a minute about some of the fine singers and musicians who are all signing up to be there to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Mark Bethel. Let me just say that on Saturday is going to be his homegoing service at 2 o'clock at Bahamas Faith Ministries. And so we want as many people, as many Bahamians who feel as if they were truly impacted by his life to be out on Thursday and on Saturday. We really want to show this family some love and to let them know how much he really meant to all of us.
Wow. Richa.
Yeah. Well, I concur with Kevin with the sentiments that truly Pastor Mark Bethel was an absolutely astounding person. You know, even in my own life, I served under his ministry. He was directly my pastor for many, many years. I served in the Fine Arts Department. It was through opportunities that he brought to this country with individuals such as Johnny McClurkin and Ron Canoli and so many praise and worship artists from around the world, that I got a wonderful opportunity to be able to link with Dr. Ron Canoli and have been able to travel all over the face of this earth, doing what I love to do as a praise and worship minister. I was ordained under Pastor Mark as a psalmist evangelist. And so I am so forever grateful to him. And we're truly excited about Thursday night. I'm really praying that I can be strong enough not to fall apart. But we're really excited about some of the wonderful individuals that will come and be a part. Simeon Outen and Ayana and Kevin, please help me.
We've got Sami Star will
Sami
be there.
Star.
Nehemiah Hill is already on board. Tamika Taylor is going to be with us. Edison Sumner, by the way, is coordinating a lot of this along with us, and Andrew Gardner along with James Hepburn, who was the protege of Pastor Mark, and he, of course, is our Minister of Music at BFM. So no doubt he's in service now, but Minister James Hepburn will be also ministering that night. We're going to be also bringing back a lot of the old schoolers, we call them. A lot of people who were in the music trenches with Pastor Mark, people like Ruth and Charlie Brown. Adrian Diagla's already on board. He's going to be in. Neil, of course. We're going to have
Wesley Smith.
Pastor Wes Smith is in. So those people who had never really been a part of our worship experience, you're going to hear some of that on Thursday night and on Saturday. And there's also going to be persons who really was impacted by Pastor Mark, like D'Andrea Scott, who will be there at the funeral service on Saturday with the team in terms of dancers and also those persons who are in the flag ministry at our church. Dr. Ann Peterson and her team are expected to be in place on Thursday night. And I spoke with her husband today, Pastor Henry Higgins. And so they're preparing and they're getting ready. And on Thursday night, we're also looking to have some reflections again from the era where we had the Love Singers, that era that Pastor Mark came from. That was his group. And so they're preparing something now. We're really excited about that because they haven't performed together for a long time. And so no doubt they have to be in place. And we've also spoken to Michael Sarge, Hannah, and Tinkle Hannah, those from Touch, who were part of that era, to really be in the house. And so they're working that out with them. But we're also combining what we call a power praise team. A power praise team to kick off Thursday night. And that's really going to be a lot of the praise and worship leaders from around the country, from various churches whose life Pastor Mark would have poured into. So they're all coming together to be a part of this power praise team. Some of the names I've called before will be a part of that team. There are a few others that are now being confirmed. And so all of these individuals, in some way, the band that is coming together, it's going to be an extraordinary mixture of the old and the young. Charlie Brown on drums, Adrian Diagla on bass, Neil Simon on percussions, Dave Poker-Taylor percussions, J.D. Stewart will be keyboardist and music director. Derek Moss from the Church of God of Prophecy will be playing. Demetrius Stubbs, Tracy Knowles. There's so many others. And then, of course, the musicians from BFM. will also be involved. We have quite a few: Lionel Harris, Odin Moss, all of the young guys who have come up in the last few years in terms of our drummers, Trevor, and all of them. They will all be a part of both occasions. And so there's going to be a good coming together of persons. Of course, Pastor Mark's praise team will be in full ministry at the homegoing service. And so many of the ministers who would have come up during the years in the praise and worship ministry will be a part of both services. And so no doubt his beloved praise and worship team, they love him so much and he loves them. They're going to be there to really ensure that his homegoing service is so special. It's going to be a fantastic time.
To have these elements come together again for this event that haven't performed together for so many years.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, just the Power Praise team, really, and I could be wrong, but I think once the final lineup of singers have been identified and confirmed, I don't think we would have really seen these individuals who are all leaders in their own respective right.
Yes.
And many of them are recording artists now and touring artists, ever together.
Yeah.
One stage.
One stage.
On one stage.
Singing some of the most
At one
powerful
time.
worship songs, I mean, of our time.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to be taking you back. This was symbolic of, again, the start of BFM back in Balmoral Hotel, and when we merged into Mackey Street. That kind of very contemporary approach to worship that was brought here into the Bahamas. And Pastor Wesley Smith and Dr. Mark Bethel was really the leaders that really were responsible for introducing this brand of praise worship. There were so many people, including Joy Mullings. We've got Bun Harris, and we've got Lionel Harris. Fred Ferguson, well-known guitarist, was part of the Love Singers.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of people that came from that era. We've got people like Felton Williamson, also part of the Love Singers, one of the singers there. So there are a number of persons, I can say, from the System 3 era that we really appreciated the contributions of Pastor Mark, the encouragement. I can also speak loudly for people like Landlord and Christian Massive and Manifest and DJ Consular, all who came up from the memorial service again. And sometimes people think about a memorial in a more somber way, but this is going to be a different experience. It's a celebration, and that's why we're calling it Jubilee, because that was Pastor Mark. He loved that kind of, particularly the Jewish songs. He loved those with that flavor and color to the music, and that's why we're going to call it Jubilee. And it's going to be a celebration of the life and the music and the ministry of Dr. Mark Anthony Bethel this Thursday, July the 19th at 7:30 p.m. at the Diplomat Center.